Hi everyone, nice to see you all to attend the webinar. Let me introduce myself. I'm Jeffrey, Education Advisor from Division of Program Promotion, Utah. And welcome, we are happy to invite and have our speaker here today, Professor Dr. Sumati. She is a professor from Department of Environmental Engineering, Faculty of Engineering and Green Technology, Utah. Also Deputy Director from Institute of Postgrad Studies and Research from Kappa Campus. The webinar duration will approximately take 1 hour. Lastly, we will introduce you our Utah program and contact details of Utah. So now I will pass the floor to our speaker here today, Professor Sumati.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jeffrey. Right, I'm here today to give you a short presentation, or we call it as a short seminar on COVID-19 lockdown, diminishes air pollution. All right, I'm going to share you some information facts about air pollution, as well what is air pollution and how actually COVID-19 lockdown actually diminishes means reduces air pollution. Okay, so hope it will be an interesting topic for you. And by knowing this topic, I'm sure if you're interested further, we will be having all these courses in our engineering campus, which actually caters environmental engineering. So students can pursue engineering in the field of environment. And this subject that I'm going to talk today is actually related to the environmental engineering program, whereby I myself am teaching this course, air and noise pollution control. Okay, right. Without further ado, let me share you my slides first. Okay, I hope everyone can see my slides. Okay, so before I go into how this COVID-19 actually reduces air pollution and so on, let me brief you a bit on what is air pollution, what are the substances, what are the sources of air pollution, and what can air pollution cause to us, all right? So basically, what is air pollution? Okay, we have air that humans will breathe in. Okay, we will breathe in oxygen to survive, and we will exhale carbon dioxide. And this carbon dioxide is being taken up by the plants, okay, green leaves, as a food for them for photosynthesis. Okay, so in the ambient air that we survive, we have a lot of air, including oxygen, carbon dioxide, and other types of air. Okay, but if there is any substance in the air, in the atmosphere, which causes harm to you and me, the humans, or the plants, the animals, or any type of man-made materials and structures, or causing changes in the weather or climate, which currently we are facing. Suddenly you have a rain, suddenly the weather is too hot, suddenly you might have ice rain, right? This is very common recently because there's a changes in weather and climate, and also it disturbs our lifestyle, our property, our enjoyment. So whenever there is any substances which causes this kind of harm, we call this as air pollution because it happens in the air. Okay, so is it bad or it's not bad? Of course, it is very, very bad. Why? Because air pollution, as I said, right, you are breathing in oxygen, but can you see oxygen? Does oxygen has a color? Does it have a taste? Or does it have an odor or smell? No, right? So same goes to air pollution. Air pollution is more severe or more serious compared to any type of other pollution. Because air pollution, you can't see, you can't smell, and you can't even taste it. All right. If you're talking about water pollution, definitely you can see the color of the water, whether the water is clean or not, whether it's okay to drink or not, right? And also the water might have some form of smell. If it is a dirty smell, you know the water is polluted. And of course, it has some form of color, blackish color and so on. So it's very easy for you to detect that that particular water which you are going to consume is very dirty and polluted. However, for air pollution, it's a total different story. You can't see the pollutant. You won't see it because it does not have color. It's tasteless and smellless. All right. So that's why I say air pollution, many of us do not even consider that there is such thing as air pollution because you don't feel it. All right. But it is really a major problem. Okay. So let me share with you more details. You can see this slide that I'm sharing is from the WHO, World Health Organization, whereby they have said that air pollution is a silent killer because you can't see it, you can't smell it, and so on. And every year around the world, 7 million deaths are due to exposure from both outdoor and indoor or household air pollution. Okay, what do I mean by indoor air pollution? Inside my house, is there air pollution? Yes, you are using aerosol, for example. You have a reset or Mortex or whatsoever, you are spraying it to actually shoo away the insects or mosquitoes. But then the aerosol that you are spraying, it contains particulates, it contains gases, it contains air pollutants. All right, because it's a chemical, right, in the form of gas. And these pollutants, even though it's killing the mosquito, at the same time, humans are inhaling it. So this type of air, which is being polluted because of these aerosols, is also a type of air pollutant in the house. Okay, and similarly, it happens in the outdoor. That's why WHO has reported 7 million deaths around the world due to air pollution. And of course, COVID-19 itself is a type of airborne disease, which is currently, they are moving into saying that COVID-19 could be also airborne. So again, this is also another type of air pollution, right? And this air pollution is the major environmental concern. If you can reduce this air pollution, you can reduce a lot of health issues. For example, you can reduce the stroke, heart diseases, lung cancer, and asthmatic patients, okay? Because most of the asthmatic patients are having chronic asthmatic syndrome or symptoms because of air pollution, because the air that they breathe in is not clean and their lungs are choked and eventually they get asthma and so many other diseases. And if you talk about regional in this picture here, regional estimates according to groupings, we can see that out of these 7 million deaths, 2 million deaths are coming from the Southeast Asia region. Where are we, Malaysia? We are in the Southeast Asia region. And why there are so many 2 million deaths because of air pollution in this kind of region? Why? Why in Southeast Asia? Because we are developing country. We are still developing and we are building a lot of structures. We are building our industries. We are moving on Industrial 4.0. Therefore, we create more pollutants. And do we actually subside these pollutants? Are we taking action to reduce it? Yes, but not good enough as the developed country. Therefore, this air pollution keep growing in Southeast Asian region and it causes above 2 million deaths per year. And if you can see other countries, they are not so much. Of course, the Western Pacific region also around 2 million, but Southeast Asia, where we are living in, it's about 2 million. And talking about in Malaysia, you might want to know, hey, you're talking about generally, can you give me some specific information for Malaysia? Is it really we have this impact? Yes. I'm very sure you have heard of Sungai Kim Kim, Johor. It was 2 years back in all the news and it was boom for the day. How come school children are inhaling something and they don't know what they are inhaling because there's no smell, there's no color, but symptoms are there. Students and teachers experience nausea, dizziness and vomiting and fainting just right there. And they don't know what's happening. It's because of air pollution. Okay, so this is a very good example in Malaysia that you have to take care of air pollution and how can we reduce the air pollution and how come in COVID-19 lockdown it was reduced. So I'm going to share you that information. So just to share with you, Sungai Kim Kim, it was from the chemical pollution. The chemical pollution in the river created some form of gas in the fume. All right, and these fumes contains organic solvents such as benzene. I'm not so sure how many of you knows about benzene, but benzene is a very carcinogenic, can cause cancer. And this was emitted in the river, okay, due to some chemical reaction. And it affected more than 2,000 people in Pasir Gudang, especially school children, because the school was nearby the river. And because of this, about 111 schools was closed. So much of discomfort, students lose their studies and so on, okay? And out of this number, 947 was treated in the hospital and 9 of them was admitted in ICU. And thank God there was no death. Okay, this is that serious. Okay, and it happened in Malaysia specifically. So we have to give a very high priority for air pollution, and hope Malaysia is moving forward to this, and I hope everybody will be aware on this as well. Okay, so this is just for sharing for you to understand that air pollution can be very, very serious. Because why people was not alerted? Because you don't feel it, you don't smell it, you don't taste it, there's no color, so it just there in the air. Okay, right. So moving on, is it like really this air pollution only causes health effects like what I mentioned in the previous two slides? No, they also cause some other effects, especially to the climate, which I will also discuss later. It contributes to global warming as a whole. That means the whole environment is involved beside the humans, and also plants and animals. Okay, in agriculture, the plants, okay, these pollutants, the air pollutants will be very, very toxic, and it will damage the plants. And the ability for them to sequester CO2. Sequester means to absorb the CO2, which is being exhaled by the human. Okay, every human is exhaling CO2 and inhaling O2, right? So plants are supposed to uptake them, but when it's too much and there's so many other pollutants coming in, the plants actually could not absorb that much of CO2. They could not process the CO2. Okay, so these are the effects, not only to the human in the form of the health issues, but also overall to the environment in the sense of climate, and also in agriculture. When the climate is disturbed, indirectly it will also disturb the humans. When the agriculture is disturbed, your food source is disturbed, again, it will also reflect back to you. That's why you have that much of that due to air pollution. Okay. So when I'm talking about this air pollution, okay, what is the substance? What actually causes this air pollution? Okay, as I said, mentioned just now, Sungai Kim Kim is because of the volatile organic carbon, something like a gas, which is benzene and so on. But are there any other pollutants? Yes. Okay, the following that I'm showing you and sharing you in the slides are the pollutants. For example, dust in the form of suspended particles. For example, your mother is going to bake a cake. She has flour, okay, tepung, okay. So you take this tepung, the tepung is so small, if you try to spread it, it will become a powder, right? And it will cause some kind of fuming, like a smoke, like that, right? So this is a form of pollutants, the substance which causes air pollution. And it has its own size, the size of PM10, or the total suspended particles, and also particle matter 2.5. The 10 and 2.5 is the size of the, for example, the flour, the size of the particle in the air. Okay, so any type of particle in the air can cause air pollution. Next is different types of gases. For example, sulfur dioxide, okay, nitrogen oxides can be in the form of nitrogen oxide, nitrogen dioxide, or nitrogen dioxide, and so on. Okay, next is carbon monoxide and ozone and other types of gases. So there can be varieties of gases, but our concern is basically on the dust, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, and ozone, because these are the most common ones found in the environment. And in Malaysia, we also monitor these gases. And for your information, the PM10 and PM2.5 is very, very small, that even your naked eyes, you can't see the pollutants. Okay. And of course, talking about sulfur dioxide, at least sulfur dioxide has some form of smell, but it's colorless and tasteless. Whereas nitrogen oxide and carbon monoxide is very, very bad. This fella doesn't have color, no smell, no taste, zero. You won't know it is there. Same goes to ozone. Ozone has some form of color. It's a lightly bluish color, and it has a smell of chlorine slightly there. So it's still okay because you can still smell something. And for your information, carbon monoxide, if this carbon monoxide you breathe in, it actually absorbs to your blood 250 times faster than oxygen. It is a killer. All right. The moment it enters your body, it will absorb so fast compared to your oxygen. The moment you inhale your oxygen, it doesn't absorb your oxygen. It absorbs the carbon monoxide if it is existing. What happened? Immediate death and a slow death. Because carbon monoxide, no color, no feeling, no smell. You absorb, you feel sleepy, your blood got saturated with this gas, eventually you feel sleepy and it is a slow death. Okay, because it absorbs so fast to your body. So these are the pollutants of concern in the air, which actually causes air pollution. So moving on. Okay, another type of gas which I'm very sure you are very known of, because people are start talking about carbon dioxide, global warming, right? So carbon dioxide, as I said, is naturally occurring on the earth, which is about 300 ppm per volume. Okay, that should be the amount of carbon dioxide in the earth. However, now carbon dioxide has been categorized as a pollutant because it exists in excessive due to human activities. Okay, now because of industries and so on, and transportation emission and so on, we create additional carbon dioxide on earth, and this carbon dioxide causes additional problem because the plants could not sequester the carbon dioxide, because now it's more than the ones that should be on the earth. Why? Because we are creating more. Those days, I mean, in 1920s or early 18s and so on, whereby industrial era was just starting, you know, those days we do not have additional carbon dioxide coming in from industry. It was more on whatever created by the humans, right? So there were enough plants to absorb. But then when the industry is coming, they also started emitting carbon dioxide. It increases the amount and causes a lot of other problems, such as global warming, ice melting. Why? Because this carbon dioxide creates heat. Okay, you can see that a graph that I'm sharing here, whereby the annual average global temperature due to carbon dioxide is increasing from the year 1880 up to 2013 is like so much of increase, almost 2 degrees Celsius. All right, and you can see here polar bears are depending on ice, and if ice are melting, this species is going to extinct. Okay, they're going to die. So that's why even some gases are not categorized as pollutant has become a pollutant because of man pollution, right? Just to share this picture to you, how actually this carbon dioxide can cause global warming. Okay, very simple. Every day we have sunlight. Sunlight will produce infrared energy. It creates some form of light which can be converted to infrared energy. So normally the Earth's surface will absorb this energy from the sunlight and then disperse it toward the Earth. But now on the Earth, we have excessive carbon dioxide gas, sulfur dioxide gas, nitrogen oxide gas. These gases, all right, these gases, these pollutant gases, tend to absorb this infrared energy. Absorb means keep the energy, okay, keep the energy, and they start to emit it back. They don't disperse it, but they absorb, keep it, and then emit when it's not necessary. For example, they emit at night, because at night it's supposed to be very cold, but now there is a lot of carbon dioxide which is not being dispersed. So this carbon dioxide already absorbed the energy in the morning, and then after that release it at night because the environment is so cool. Okay, so when they release, you create more energy, more heat, therefore global warming happens. Okay, normally at night it should be cold, morning should be hot. Now even at night you feel very hot due to this. Okay, so that's why even carbon dioxide is not a pollutant, but now because it is excessive and also due to other pollutants, it actually creates additional heat and creates global warming. And we call this as greenhouse effect. Okay, now after seeing what are the pollutants and so on, now you might want to know what is the source of this pollution. Why it's being created? Who is creating this? It's nonsense. They should not be. But we can't avoid creating this pollution. Okay, let us see. The sources are, okay, the sources are transportation. Okay, starting from a simple motorbike up to a flight, we use fuel. And whenever we burn the fuel, it creates sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and every single pollutant. Okay, even dust is created during these processes. Some form of solid particles will be processed. Okay, so whenever there's a transportation, definitely these gases will be there. Next is we have fossil fuel production for fuel. Okay, so the industries which are producing fuel from fossil fuel combustion, creates carbon dioxide. So if you want petrol for your transportation, you need to make fossil fuel, you create carbon dioxide. Okay. And if you have all kinds of burners, boilers in the industry, you will create carbon dioxide. Next is carbon monoxide and volatile organic carbon, something like benzene and all that is coming from all the manufacturing industry, petroleum refining industry, and other industries. Okay. As long as you have industries which is involving in chemical, they produce air pollutants. Okay. And just to notify you how small is the size of the dust, which can cause a lot of hazards to your human body when you inhale it, you can compare the particle size to your hair. Assume this is one piece of hair that I'm showing here, okay? And PM10 size is only a small fraction of the hair. Very, very small. You can't see it. Imagine this thing going into your body every day, in and out, in and out. It will definitely deposit into your lungs. How much can your lung filter? Okay, of course, you might have an air filter at home. How much can the air filter do? How much can your lungs do? Okay, so you have to think of making sure our house is clean, our working environment is clean, our environment is clean, so that we do not have all these small particles going into my body. I can't even know, I can't even see them. Okay, and when we talk about 2.5, it's much more smaller. The blue is PM10 and the red is 2.5. It's much, much smaller. It can easily go into your body. And where does this thing come from? Quarry activities, cement production, any type of manufacturing, flour manufacturing industry. If you're working inside, you need to wear masks because there are so much of particulates being produced. And forest fire. Okay, whenever we burn something, you have the black color ashes and smoke coming out, right? So the smoke and ashes contain a lot of particulate matters. Okay, and I'm very sure you're very familiar with haze. Haze is due to particulate matter, the dust. Okay, when the dust is so much, it actually creates haze. The first thing that you notice is you have reduced in visibility. You can't see clearly. You can see this is Putrajaya, the picture that I'm sharing with you. You can't really see the monument, the building. Why? Because particulate matters is suspended in the air and it causes haze, visibility reduction. The same goes to this picture. Is showing some housing area. You have this. So where does this haze come from? Because we do not have enough rainfall to bring down the particulate dust, and also open burning activities contributing to this haze. If you have your house, you have your lawn, I mean, you have your house, you have some grass, you cut the grass, you let the grass to dry. After that, you start burning them. When you burn the grass, you will produce some kind of smoke. This smoke, if it is small scale, it can easily be dispersed when the wind blows, correct? But if you produce very massive kind of burning, it can't really easily be removed by the air or by the wind. So you create haze. And in Malaysia, particularly, we have haze because of those illegal land clearing and burning in Indonesia. Whenever they burn in Indonesia, they blow the wind blows towards Malaysia. That's why Klang, you will have very bad haze. And how you know haze? Normally in the news, they will tell you, oh, currently we have haze, we are closing down some school because it's so unhealthy, based on air pollution index reading. I will also share you later then. Next is ozone. Ozone comes from the reaction of sunlight and all types of other pollutants. It's not created from industry and so on, the ozone, but it is created from the reaction of sunlight with other pollutants which already exist in the atmosphere. So the more pollutants you have, the more it will react, the more ozone will be created. Okay, and we have some other gases like volatile organic carbon that I mentioned to you, like methane gas and so on. It can be easily created by industry as well, such as landfill, the place where you throw your rubbish. Okay, they create some form of wastewater. This wastewater, because of chemical changes, produces biogas, and this biogas contains carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and methane. These are greenhouse gases, and these greenhouse gases will do what? Global warming, because they trap the heat, they trap the infrared energy. Same goes to wastewater treatment. For example, palm oil industry, we have the palm oil effluent. They have to anaerobically digest this wastewater so that they can discharge it to the river, safe for the water. However, when they do the digestion, it creates biogas, and they have to find a way to convert this biogas so that it does not affect the atmosphere by releasing the methane gas. Okay, so these are the sources where the pollutants is created. So you can see that it's not easy for us to stop all these activities from not being creating the air pollutants. Okay, so in Malaysia, how do we monitor the air pollution? The Ministry of Alam Sekitar and Air is responsible, and under the ministry we have Department of Environment, and they have a network of 65 automatic stations and 14 manual stations actually to get the readings of these pollutants. Okay, once they get these readings of the pollutants, they will do some calculation. You can see these are the readings. They will do some calculation and come up with something called air pollution index. So in the TV, next time when you watch the news during HAZE, you will see something called API, air pollution index. Air pollution index means showing how much of these pollutants existing in our Malaysian air. Okay, so when they report, they will report in a simpler form, like the one that I'm showing you today, the table. So actually they will show you these numbers. So from the numbers, you will know whether our environment is good, moderate, unhealthy, very unhealthy, or hazardous. So if it is more than 300, if the reading is showing more than 300, definitely they will close down the school. And because it's very hazardous, people should not inhale. Okay, if you're going out also, you have to wear the mask. So this is how in Malaysia we monitor and we tell the public the condition of the air. Okay, so if you want to, you can go to this website, wwiaq.com.malaysia, whereby they will show you the current pollution. Okay, let me share with you for a while. Okay, I'm going to share you another. Okay, hope you can see my screen now. This is the website. Okay, so you can see what is the condition in Malaysia. You can see what is the condition worldwide. Okay, you can see in Seoul is about 513. The API is based on US AQI, same like Malaysia, same, similar to Malaysian API. They call it as US AQI. So it's about 513 in Seoul. That means they are currently having a very bad air pollution. And in Malaysia, if you can see, currently we are still good. We are in good and moderate. And you can see in Indonesia, there's something burning there, right? So this burning today might cause a haze in Malaysia because wind might blow. You can see the wind is blowing. Okay, so when the wind is blowing, it might come to Malaysia. And we have a small burning as well near Kuala Lumpur, could be due to landfill and some areas. So you can also use this kind of information from online to know better on our air quality. Okay, now let me go back to my slides. Okay, so hope you understand how actually people report the quality of air and how you can actually save yourself from air pollution whenever you look at the API numbers. Okay. And just to share with you, how was our API trend from year 2010 to 2015? You can see that most of the time also, we have emergency hazardous case and unhealthy case in Malaysia. So the reason one, I'm sorry, I do not have a reason data. Maybe in the next webinar, if you're interested, I will share more data or reason one when a Department of Environment issues the data. All right. So you can see that from year 2010 onwards, we do have situations where it is unhealthy, very unhealthy. Of course, anything below 100 is still safe. Anything above 100 and 300 is very, very bad. And we have certain time, we do have the hazardous concentration and we do have emergency state because we have the HAZE. Okay. And now I move on to what we're going to talk about today. Very simple. I just give you some information on air pollution. And now I want to tell you what happens during COVID-19. Why COVID-19 suddenly the details was reducing? Why air pollution was reducing? As you all know that in January 2020, this COVID-19 was announced. It was a tragedy for human, and WHO declared COVID-19 as an outbreak, and a public health emergency was noticed. All right. And during this time, Malaysia actually do not have much cases on COVID-19. Maybe we are still not knowing about COVID-19. And in March okay, we had the massive religious gathering in Kuala Lumpur, which causes the COVID-19 impact to Malaysia. All right. And that was our initial MCO period of 1.0, which started 18 March to 3rd of May. And of course, they have extended it to 9 June, all right, due to the reasons of the COVID-19. So now I'm going to just share to you what happened. Just now I showed you, right? Our API was always very high and so on. But during COVID-19, what actually happened to the air pollution? Okay. Right. Factories and industrial sectors were closed. Okay, a lot of restaurant, markets, bars, universities, everything was basically closed during MCO 1.0. Only markets and certain household supermarkets was open for daily usage and so on. Okay, but basically most of the activities was closed. And this scenario actually rise to some positive impacts. Okay, the roads were clean, the water was clean because no pollution is happening because everybody is sitting at home. Nobody is going out. All right. And you saw in newspapers and so on, there were many factories closed down. The ones that I'm sharing now is in Penang. Almost 47 factories was closed down during the Jan to March 2021, even during the recent one, okay, this year. And last year, of course, they have a lot of closures. And these are the, these slides is showing the latest one. These slides are showing the previous one, which is happening last year, whereby some glove factories were closing, even bread making factories were closing. And because of this closing, there was some reduction of air pollution. Okay, and transportation, the logistics section was destroyed due to COVID-19 because during lockdown, the numbers were stopped. Okay, transportation was totally to put the point of zero. Therefore, vehicles on road also was very, very minimal. And due to this, the pollution was less. Because I remember I told you, right, initially, the reason for air pollution is due to transportation. Number one is transportation. Almost 70%, from 60 to 70% of air pollutants are created from this. So when these sectors are closed down, indirectly our air pollution was reduced, right? So based on that condition on COVID-19, I'm going to share you some images which is noticed from the satellite taken to show you how good was this COVID-19 in helping the air pollution reduction. Okay, I'm going to share you a study done in China. Okay, this was done in China, Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei, as well as Seoul and Tokyo, 2 countries. So you can see here, this is the nitrogen dioxide, a type of pollutant, in February 2019 compared to February 2020 over the study area. Okay, so in 1990, you can see the dark colored reddish and yellowish are the pollutants which is being captured by the satellite in year 2019. However, in 2020, around the same timing in February, wow, is so much clear. And of course, you still have 1 or 2 small ones. Can you see a small one here? Yeah, of course, you will have 1 or 2. Maybe these are the industrial zone areas. And still there are some industries operating during the lockdown. Therefore, there are some emissions. But compared to 2019, this is beautiful. Okay, that means during this time, whatever we breathe in was absolutely clean. Another one for sulfur dioxide, you can see is also being affected. Okay, and this is more on the purple side. The yellow is for the nitrogen oxide. The purplish blue is more for the sulfur dioxide. And you can see here, you don't really see the sulfur dioxide. Moving on to carbon monoxide. Again, you can see some reduction throughout the days when there is COVID-19 lockdown in China and also in Japan. Okay, and these are for aerosols, which are more related to particulate pollutants like dust and smoke. Again, you can see it was quite clear for the state. And some places it was still occurring, maybe due to the blowing of the wind and so on. Okay, so you can see that how effective it was during the lockdown because of not much activities going on. Air was so much clean. Okay, and you are really helping the earth. All right. And moving on to look at Malaysia scenario. Okay, just now I showed you the global, for example, China and Japan. Of course, there are many others, but I'm just sharing a few because I don't have much time. Okay, in Malaysia scenario, currently the emission pollutants to the atmosphere by source basically 70% is coming from motor vehicles, 24% for power plant, and we have industry and others. Okay, so basically it's from transportation. And what has happened during MCO 1.0, this is the satellite images for Malaysia. You can see before the MCO 1.0 and during and after MCO 1.0, you can see there is still some, but not as bad as before. Okay, it really shows reduction in air pollution. Beautiful. Okay, I just love it. Okay, we are helping Malaysia and the earth and the atmosphere and the air that we are breathing, right? And these are some studies done by the researchers or scientists in Malaysia. They also shows that before MCO and during MCO, the reduction of air pollutant, especially particle 2.5, was very good by region, Sabah, Sarawak, East, West, South, North, all right? And this is also specifically to carbon monoxide at certain areas in KL, which is PJ, Kelana Jaya, Bukit Gasing, Kota Damansara, because these places are very highly in traffic, transportation, and so on. And you know, right, KL is a busy city, busy, buzzing city. Therefore, they have a lot of air pollution problem. And you can see during normal days, okay, you look at the box chart here, the bigger or longer the chart, the more pollutant it is, all right? So during MCO, it was almost half of it or maybe very, very little. Okay, you can see carbon monoxide, really, there is a big reduction from normal day and during MCO. Moving on to particulate matter, same scenario, okay, very good. Particulate matter 10, the size of 10, also have a lot of reduction. And these are another study by Muhammad Talib Latif from UKM. You can see he has done in certain places as well compared to the previous one is more on PJ City Station and so on. Here he also have PJ and some other places like Shalam and Putrajaya. So he have showing you before MCO, you can see the graphs are very high. During MCO, it is slightly subtle. Okay, for PM10, PM2.5, ozone, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and carbon monoxide. You can see carbon monoxide is really very, very good. Okay, but sulfur dioxide, not really, because we still have all these industries producing refinery industries which produce a lot of sulfur dioxide and so on because we need the fuel and so on, right? So carbon monoxide is from transportation and also refineries. You can see there's a major reduction during COVID-19 lockdown, right? So, and this was the hazardous quotient value for all the pollutants, okay, before and during MCO. Okay, I'm just going to share with you one. You can see that in EPO, the hazard was totally reduced from 2.48 to 2.15 to the power of 3. Okay, this is some numbers to show how bad was the hazard during and before. So, of course, during it has reduced, before it was higher. The same goes to other places, Kuantan, Kota Baru, Kuching, and so on. All right. And even in Kuala Lumpur, it was very good from 2.5 to only 1.5. Okay. So you can see that it's really helping the environment. Air pollution was reducing during MCO. Okay. Same goes to others. You can have a look. This is time to the power of -2. This is time to the power of -3, even though the number is big, but in terms of size, it is still reducing very, very much. Okay. So coming to the end. So what was the reason behind the reduction of air pollution during COVID-19? Of course, once you have seen from the flow, you yourself can judge is definitely because lower numbers of motor vehicle and transportation during MCO, reduce in human outdoor activities. People were not going outside. People are not doing barbecue outside. People are not burning grasses. They are so bored. They are sitting at home. All right. And we have reduced coal-fired power plants and so on because operations was closed down. All right. During COVID-19, workers are not allowed to go to work. Therefore, factories were shut down. So no pollutants was created. And of course, operations in manufacturing, for example, quarry, cement industry, and so on. So when these are reduced, definitely air pollution can be reduced. That's why during COVID-19, pollution was very little. So just to reflect back, Of course, I do not want to have always COVID-19 lockdown in order to reduce air pollution, right? I'm sure no one here want to have COVID-19 lockdown in order to reduce pollution. But what we want here is solution. As a human, what can we do a part of this society? Okay, of course, we can reduce the transportation. Okay, of course, we can reduce the industry's emission, asking them to make sure, strengthen the rules and regulations so that they don't really emit and so on. Okay, so we need to design a systematic mitigation measures for the industry and policies, make a more stronger policy, more stronger regulation from the government to the industry so that we can reduce this. Like the COVID-19, how can we reduce it? Why during COVID-19 lockdown we can reduce? Because activities was less. So once the activity is on, we are seeing pollution, which means that the industries are not really following the regulation. That's why the pollutions are so high. So we need to have more stronger policy and stronger regulation to control. And we should have cleaner alternative industrial processes. Maybe industries should change the process to cleaner process so that they don't really produce pollution, air pollutants, all right? And new vehicle technology, okay, turning into electric vehicle, all right? Maybe we can pool car, okay, cycle to work, cycle to university, and so on. And of course, you know, right, we produce a lot of VOC from solid waste. We should have a very good solid waste by incinerating or burning, reduce the waste, all right? But of course, while burning, we have a control system to release the polluter, improve the waste management, and universal access to cleaner and affordable fuel, okay? If you have a cleaner fuel, the moment we burn fuel for transportation, we will create less pollutant because the fuel itself is clean. And of course, cleaner fuel at the moment is not cheap. So if possible, we should come up with the affordable, cleaner fuel. And of course, we humans, you and me, has to do our part to the environment to reduce the air pollution. We take some actions, okay, in order to be part of it and be involved and get to know air pollution and tell everyone air pollution is a killer. We need to take action. We need to reduce it, okay? Right. That's all for today. These are the references that I actually used in my presentation. And thank you very much for listening to my webinar today. Hope everyone had some new information and some new feeling on air pollution, how to reduce it. So always remember, stopping pollution is the best solution rather than going after it's being created.
Okay, so as you can see, this is a basic info regarding the Utah campuses. As you can see, we have this main campus. Okay, also award-winning Kampa campus in Perak. Okay, which is a distant 170 km from KL City. And actually, we have another branch, okay, at Sungai Long campus, which is actually 24 km from KL City. Okay. So this is the area view for our Utah main campus, Utah Kampa campus. So this is actually built on 1,300 acre piece of land. So as you can see, this is a beautiful scene of campus view, surrounded by lakes, and definitely you can enjoy your study life here. Let me share some info with our friends here. Most of our university students, they actually are cycling to school from their accommodation. So along that way, they can actually enjoy what they see, green scenic, and definitely you can enjoy once you start your study life here. Okay. So this is the part of this library, and our engineering program actually offer at this campus. Okay, Faculty of Green Technology, Faculty of Engineering and Green Technology, and we have business program here as well. Okay, this is our grand hall. Okay, so every year we have about 2 batches of students graduate from this grand hall. Okay, let's move on to the next. So this is student Dr. Ling Leong Sek Ho. Okay, and sculptures of Confucius and Einstein. Okay, so actually located at the open space in front of the Heritage Hall building in Utah Kappa campus. The sculptures actually symbolize the universality of learning and thinking with the convergence of wisdoms from both the East and the West. Okay. And our Utah Kappa campus rich with the biodiversity. So as we mentioned just now, this is a beautiful view of this campus. Okay. Okay. This is the next one I would like to share with you. Utah Sungai Long campus. So this is the facility we have. Okay. We have lecture hall, green gym room, multi-purpose hall, library, science and engineering lab. Okay. Studio for mass communication students, lab for these traditional Chinese medicine, nursing lab, and so on. So now I would like to share the rankings and awards of Utah, okay, with our friends here. Utah actually award World University Ranking 2021 with the ranking 501 to 600. For Asia University Ranking for last year 2020 is 119, and the University Impact Ranking for this year, okay, is 201 to 300. Let's take a look for this QS World University Ranking. Our Asia University Ranking in 2021 is improved to 157. And most importantly, most of our students, they actually can get a job after they graduate. So we can look with this QS Graduate Employability Ranking 2020. It's about 251 to 300. Okay. And let's take a look with the rank for Utah. Okay, in Times Higher Education, THE in Malaysia, World University Rankings 2021, it is actually ranked second in Malaysia. Okay. So this is a general info with our Utah programs. We have 121 academic programs and 4 foundation programs, 74 bachelor program, 31 master program, 12 PhD program. And soon we will announce you our new program as well. Okay. And applicants who do not fulfill Utah English language requirement, he or she may have to attend this English enhancement program. For those students from SPM or O-level, before they proceed to foundation without the English language requirement, they have to sit for this EEP class for 1 month before they continue for the foundation. For STPM or A-level student, before they proceed to degree program, undergraduate program, they without this English language requirement, then he or she may have to attend 2 months of this EEP program. So this is our requirement for Utah. So let's take a look with the areas of study. Okay, as you can see, we have accounting, business and economics program. If you are good in calculation, you would like to do some analysis of this calculation or data, okay, then you can actually think about the actual science program, mathematics and process management. If you are good in science and you're interested in agriculture or food science, definitely you can choose this program at Utah. And if you are good in theoretical, like arts, like social science, education, you can choose also. We have Chinese study program and we have design related program, engineering, technology and built environment program. If you are good in maybe interested in IT field, then you can choose information and communication technology. Of course, we have biochemistry, chemistry program, biotechnology program, all under this category, life and physical sciences. And we have actually offered this MBBS program, nursing program, and physiotherapy program, Chinese medicine program. So all under medicine and health sciences program. Okay. So this is the study duration for foundation in arts and in science. Okay, it take about 1 year, and this is optional for students to choose whether they study at Kamba campus or Sungai Long campus. Except for students, they would like to maybe they're interested in architecture, Chinese medicine program, maybe as physiotherapy. Okay, all these highlight program, okay, digital animation, game design, game development, then he or she must attend their foundation studies at Sungai Long campus. Okay, and for Chinese study, only one option to study at Kampa campus, and then the rest of the selection is depend on the student whether they choose to study at Sungai Long or Kampa. Okay. So let's take a look with our area of study for FEGT program. We have a related program like electronic engineering program, environmental engineering program, okay, industrial engineering program, petrochemical engineering, construction management, environmental occupational safety and health program, electronic system program, industrial management program. So actually electronic system program, let me highlight for this. This is based on work-based learning category. How work-based learning works is actually offer student 2 years of studies and 1 year of industrial practical. So student can have opportunities to learn beyond the class. Okay, beside you learn theory or hands-on or experiment or any knowledge regarding electronic system in Utah, and another 1 year actually you can learn beyond the class. You can see what you learn and apply directly in the industry. So all this program is actually offered at Kampa campus. If you would like to know further, we actually welcome you to contact our education advisor. We will share more details with the students here. Okay. So let's take a look with the professional recognition. This is one thing we would like to highlight, as Malaysia is a signatory of the Washington Accord. Utah engineering degrees are recognized by each signatory as being substantially equivalent to accredited or recognized qualifications within its own jurisdiction. In short, actually, our engineering program actually recognized by most of the countries like Australia, Canada, China, Chinese Taipei, Hong Kong, China, India, Ireland, Japan, Korea, New Zealand, Russia, Singapore, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Turkey, UK, United Kingdom, the US, United States, and Pakistan. So this is our international partnership. Some of our Utah students actually they involve or take part in this student exchange program, which also involved in this practical and then internship. So what our university can try to arrange for students is we have this established partnership with 290 local and overseas university and 190 local and overseas industry in 30 economies region as of 31st of January 2021. So which means students may have a chance to explore more throughout what you can see in our country list here. Okay. So we have a live chat function at our division of program promotion page. Okay, so you can log on to study.utah.edu.my, okay, to use this live chat function to talk with us if you would like to know more regarding Utah program, or you can drop us an email, okay, to enquiry@utah.edu.my. Our education advisor will answer your question. Or maybe you can, you feel comfortable to call us, you can call us at 016-223-3557. Okay, you also can update our Utah information from time to time at our Utah for you, okay, Facebook account. Okay, even you can reach out us at UtahNet. So once again, we thank to our Professor Sumati. Okay, she actually shared amazing information with us, so we can know how important we need to take care of our natural and this environment in this pandemic situation. So how we can help this natural is we all cooperate each other, and we help our earth to be more healthy. Okay, thank you.
Thank you everyone also for attending. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Sumati.